trespassing in this city and on this planet.
It means get lost, Squidward.
He exhausts me.
What was the real reason why Doctor Strange could not simply cut Thanos in half, as we've seen sling rings do before in Infinity War?
Whoa!
Ugh.
Wong, you're invited to my wedding.
Before we jump into the video, the March giveaway is this 24-inch theatrical scale Captain America shield. To enter is simple. 1. Like the video. 2. Subscribe and hit the bell notification. 3. Leave a comment below if you believe we'll see Doctor Strange return in Endgame.
Tony Stark, I'm Dr. Stephen Strange. I need you to come with me.
In this video, we will be exploring why didn't Doctor Strange simply cut Thanos' arm off as previously seen, and what are the secret links of Sling Ring's magical properties and Tony Stark's science that will no doubt shape the entire plot of Avengers Endgame, but also the hidden tie that ties Bruce Banner's transformation to Professor Hulk and...
Dude, you're embarrassing me in front of the wizards.
Well, Joe Russo, director of Infinity War, explained in an interview with The Telegraph why there's a lack of the sling ring simply slicing Thanos by saying, Thanos, who hails from Titan, is this virtually indestructible character who's stronger than the Hulk and has invincible skin. And yet we did see, in fact, Thanos at least bleed a single drop of blood. But how?
All that for a drop of blood.
Well, in the DVD commentary, the Russos elaborate on why they chose this to actually occur.
And that line, I don't want to skip it because it's one of the best lines in the movie, all that for a drop of blood, really underscores the existential statement that the film makes, is that everything that they throw at Thanos in this movie, which is everything that they have, leads to that one drop of blood until, of course, Thor at the end of the film. And look at how powerful this axe is.
Yeah.
The man who made the gauntlet and the axe provided Thor with the weapon that could defeat the gauntlet.
It's the Thanos killing kind.
This does solidify the fact that even with the combined might of the Avengers, we see just how powerful Thanos was and how terrible an opponent he is to face. And it's also stated that although he could only barely scratch Thanos, he was at his full potential.
The journey that Tony's been on as a genius scientist is that, you know, the evolution of his armor, this is the best it's ever going to get for Tony. And it's nanotech. He goes to the cutting edge of what his mind can deliver, and it still is not enough to beat Thanos.
So Tony was at the height of his technological capabilities with the Mark 50 technology. So what does Tony's tech have to do with sling rings though? We'll consider the following. It has been stated multiple times in the MCU that magic is closer to science than we previously believed.
Your ancestors called it magic, and you call it science. Well, I come from a place where they're one and the same thing.
And that makes sense. In Fox's Marvel Universe, we saw more of an organic explanation of some powers, such as Spidey's web shooters.
Go! Go! Go, Web, go!
Yet, since Iron Man, the beginning of the MCU has focused on a more grounded scientific explanation for most things, even superpowers and magic.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Not bad, huh?
The language of the mystic arts is as old as civilization. The sorcerers of antiquity call the use of this language spells. But if that word offends your modern sensibilities, you can call it a program. The source code that shapes reality. We harness energy drawn from other dimensions of the multiverse to cast spells.
And this is where it gets really interesting. It's also stated in Infinity War's director's commentary that Doctor Strange's primary motive was to protect the Time Stone at all costs after learning the harsh lesson when losing the Ancient One in the Doctor Strange standalone film.
Strange obviously lost the Ancient One and learned a very powerful lesson about protecting the Time Stone and what his mission is as Master of the Mystic Arts.
Does your friend often do that?
Yet, 1. Whatever Doctor Strange saw in the 14 million plus futures urged him to do a total 180 at all costs and leave Tony alive, drastically shifting his priorities even enough to sacrifice himself.
There was no other way.
2. Although Tony may not go higher per se than the Mark 50 in regards to tech, the snap opens up a previously unforeseen technological avenue for him. Ant-Man, who survives being trapped in the quantum realm, hand delivers Hank Pym's quantum tunnel van. This is technology Tony wasn't privy to prior. Pym himself swore to S.H.I.E.L.D. and Howard Stark no less that he wouldn't get his hands on the Pym particle while he was alive.
The Pym particle is a miracle, please. Don't let your past determine the future.
As long as I am alive, nobody will ever get that formula.
Much later.
Hope? Janet! Guys. Okay, seriously, don't joke around. Bring me up, let's go. Guys!
3. We've also seen official concept art of the remaining Avengers presumably having access to the quantum realm with their new quantum suits, and it's safe to assume, even though they look like Hank Pym's design from Ant-Man and the Wasp, that Tony has upgraded them. You can see in set photos of the quantum bands, it shows their suits do shrink down, and it's likely that Tony has replicated his arc reactor tech and that the suits are nanite based. So it's still not new tech, but it's a merging of 2 existing technologies. But what does this science have to do with magic or even Doctor Strange?
Where'd that come from?
It's nanotech. You like it?
Well, 2 things. It's stated in the official wiki. The only way to travel to the quantum realm is via science, or you could access the quantum realm via a sling ring.
He looks all right to me.
And more interesting is the fact that we know the Ancient One, played by Tilda Swinton, had frequented the quantum realm prior, as seen as one of the dimensions we get a glimpse of in Doctor Strange. But also, she is set to return officially in Endgame. Now, whether she survived or is in a new energy spirit form in the realm remains to be seen. But Ant-Man director Peyton Reed confirmed that there were Easter eggs in particular shots seen in the quantum realm, revealing a particular city, which no doubt the Ancient One was aware of or possibly frequented. Now, what's interesting about this city too is that it's thought to be the city Kai that Hulk visited in the comics. Now, Kai, although outwardly primitive, has remnants long forgotten of high technology and sorcery. The Hulk in the comics went in Kai aided the city, and in turn, its sorcerers help him learn their language. They have this beautiful unison of science and magic there. Now, the spell succeeds and has allowed the personality of Bruce Banner to emerge in the Hulk's body.
This was an interesting journey that we went on with Banner, trying to decide how to move him forward in the Marvel Universe. What makes him unique as a character is that, there's a host body that is being fought over by 2 distinct personalities who hate each other and both want control of the host body. And so we thought an interesting direction to take him in is, well, what if Banner, who typically uses the Hulk to solve crisis situations, what if the Hulk were no longer interested in solving those problems for Banner?
Let's get ready to welcome this guy. Here he comes.
Now, we're almost certain from the concept art that the Hulk will have his consciousness merged with his new Professor Hulk persona.
Banner! Hey, Banner! No Banner, only Hulk! What are you doing?
And we know that the Ancient One has had access to this realm, and they are both practicing science and magic, and that the sling rings have connected it all. And it seems everything's coming full circle in Endgame, with science and magic fast colliding.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
Teach me.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
If you want to support the channel in a more personal way, then check out this Avengers Endgame inspired collection. Get your own Infinity Gauntlet, stylish Infinity Ring that I really want. We've got mugs and everything Avengers you could want, and some maybe that you don't want, like Cap's shield as a cheese board, but hey, zero judgment. The link is in the description, so you don't have to do anything except click and it'll be at your door in a snap. if you use Amazon Prime.
Fine. I'll do it myself.